I'm Megan Rapinoe.
And I'm Sue Bird. This is A Touch More.
I've been thinking a lot about just what an utter act of revolution it is that women's sports even exist.
Who I am is a second round draft pick, not expected to be here, but here 10 years later with a championship.
Tech Futures, please welcome to the stage CEO and founder, Leanne Pittsford.
How are you guys feeling? How are you guys feeling? Stretch it out. All right, how many of you have been to a WNBA game this year? How many of you been to a Liberty game this year? That's right. We only have Liberty fans in here, right? So only? Who else we got? Who else we got? Who else we got? Ooh, yeah. I see where our future's headed. All right. Well, we haven't done this yet today, so I'm going to bring out two special guests first for a little high five action. If you guys could stand up, let's stand up. I promise my kids we do this right. All right, Luca, Enzo, you want to come out? Let's go. All right. Turn to your neighbor. Give him a high five. You ready? Yeah. Give him a high five. As you can tell, they are very excited about one of the special guests that will be here in a little bit. But first, we're going to introduce Sue and Megan, hosts of A Touch More, with a slow clap. You ready? Slow. Give it up for...
Give it up for Phil.
What? Give it up for Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe. All right. Give high fives. Go give them high fives.
How are we supposed to follow that? Hey, everybody. Okay. Right? I don't know. We don't know the seating. We're good. Okay. Welcome to A Touch More Live at Tech Futures 2025. We've got a packed show, so we're just going to get right to it. The WNBA Finals.
They're happening.
We're 2 games in, but there seems to be just as much action happening off the court, doesn't there?
Well, that's one way to put it, Sue. We also have a very special guest with us today. New York's finest, Tasha Cloud, is joining us. Everyone's favorite. I mean, come on. We're going to get her perspective on all the things on and off the court. But like Sue said, we have a packed show, so we're just going to really get right to it. I'm Megan Rapinoe.
And I'm Sue Bird. This is A Touch More. Let's get into it. Are you guys having fun so far? It's been a good, yeah?
How are we doing?
We're just getting started though, right?
What?
We're just getting started though, right?
We're just getting started. That's right. I'm actually really thankful. I was concerned it was going to be 9,000 degrees up here. I don't really do well in the heat, but we're good. All right. The check-in. WNBA Finals. Obviously, you guys know the Aces versus the Mercury. Give us your quick little rundown on the first 2 games. The next game is tomorrow. They gave them a rest day.
Yeah, you guys have been watching. First 2 games have been great. The Aces took care of home court, so they're up 2-0. It's a 7-game series. Dana Evans in game 1.
Ballin'.
21 points off the bench, 5 for 6 from 3. She's actually been playing really well. She played well in the semis. It forced Indiana to go zone a lot, actually. That was one of their change-ups to try to stop her. So she's been great. Jackie Young in game 2 set a record for most points in a quarter. She had 21 in the third quarter. She finished that game with 32. She also finished the game by saying, and I quote, "The rim was big. The rim was big." I'm like, where is that rim? Why didn't I ever have that rim?
I think you had that rim a time or 2. I was going to say, I wish I had that rim, and I truly have never had a big rim. All the rims are smaller when I shoot on them. How is Phoenix going to respond? Can they respond? They're going back home, obviously. They're going to have the X Factor at their back.
I heard one, woo.
Woo.
We got one Phoenix fan. It is a far journey for you guys out there in the desert. Yeah, Phoenix. Good thing it's a 7-game series. They are going to get home, though, which is going to be a huge help. I think they need to find a way to defend better. right? We just talked about a bench player, Dana Evans, coming off. We just talked about Jackie Young, a star player. We haven't even mentioned, LOL, Asia Wilson, who's she's
Heard of her?
averaging 24.8 points and 12 rebounds. So they need to make some serious adjustments defensively. The main reason is because this is actually what fuels their offense. So Phoenix is that type of team. They get things going defensively, it fuels their offense. And the other reason they need to do this is because Alyssa Thomas, we love to call her AT, as you know, she's having, she's not having trouble, but she's shooting. She's right now averaging 8 attempts lower than the previous playoff games. And also, this is a trend from the regular season against the Aces, against Asia Wilson. She just gets fewer shots. So they need to fuel their offense with their defense, and they need to be more creative for the rest of their team, including AT. I don't know if you guys watched, and we're going to actually ask Natasha when she comes up here because I'm so curious. They were setting this like flat pick and roll. AT had the ball and she was coming off. It's kind of when she was like bashing into some people. If you're Liberty fans, it's when she was like taking out all the guards. Just, you know what it is. So teams are having trouble with that. Doesn't feel like the Aces are having trouble with that. So what does the Mercury do offensively to get her going to create offense?
I thought for a second you were asking me, and I was like, I don't know. I'm just looking at the game when I'm watching it, basically. You mentioned that it's a 7-game series. This is the first time in the W that there's been 7-game series. This is the first finals, obviously. What do you think the impact of that is going to be on the series, like from a lot of different levels, I guess, or ways?
Yeah, 7 games is a lot. A series is a lot. Gonna bring back one of our favorite little lines. 2 truths.
Oh.
There are 2 truths, folks. We find this in our relationship all the time.
Yeah, my truth.
Lots of truths.
And then Sue's truth.
So the first truth is 7-game series, great for business.
Yeah.
Great for ratings, great for revenue, more games, more chances to sell. The longer the series goes, right? The more there is to sell, but also the stakes rise. To give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I'm actually going to use the NBA. In this last year's finals, it went to 7. Game 1 through 6 averaged like 9, 10 million, which is great. Game 7, whoop, 16.5. So that number just jumps when you have stakes. So I think for the WNBA in general, that's just a good thing. More games is better. I personally love more games because then the series becomes more of a chess match. You know, obviously it's about basketball. You got to put the ball in the hoop, but it's like, how are you going to do that? All the games becomes more strategic, more adjustments. I love that. I also think it reduces the likelihood of like a true upset. It kind of starts to eliminate that, which I prefer. But then there's this other side to it, the other truth. It's a lot of games in a little period of time. It's already been a tough season, 44 games this year on the players, 7 games at the end of a grueling season. Yes, they charter, but how is that going to impact things? And to be honest, it's actually something I just have my eye on for the future because Phoenix and Vegas are close. So we might not see the full impact of having to go every other day with just, you know, a 2-day span in between games 2 and 3. And then again, I think maybe like 5 and 6, 6 and 7. I can't remember. So it might start to add up. That's the way I see it. I think specific to this series, it plays in Vegas's hands a little bit. Given everything I just said, the other part about series is they slow down. They get more about your half-court execution. Fatigue starts to kick in. And, you know, this is why the Mercury need to figure it out quick in terms of that execution, that half-court execution, because I think it does favor the Aces a little bit.
Okay. Well, I don't really
Was that a
know.
lot of information?
It was.
Sorry.
And
What
I
podcast
can't
is
wait.
This isn't Bird's Eye View?
Yeah, yeah. That
Dang,
is
my
a good
bad.
snooze view.
Okay, actually, question for you then. Your turn. All right, a
Okay.
big part of Las Vegas's season this year was a let me get this right, 3-point loss on August 2nd to the Minnesota Lynx.
Shocking.
Yeah. But on August 3rd,
One clap over here.
Asia sent
We got a Lynx fan. Cheryl, is that you? No.
On August 3rd, Asia sent a text to the group chat saying, if you weren't embarrassed from yesterday, then don't come into this gym. You're not needed or wanted here. We needed the mindset to shift because that was embarrassing. Megan, Have you ever been on a team where a text like that has been sent?
I don't know about like a specific text like that, but yeah, I definitely been on teams that, excuse me, are underperforming. And like there always comes a moment where it's just like, are we going to get our shit together or are we not? And sometimes those text messages really work. Obviously, for the Aces, they went on a tear. Sometimes, like, everyone kind of tries really hard and they just don't work. And you get to the end of the season, you're like, damn, I wish we would have locked in when so and so gave that text message. But I'm a fan of it. Like the seasons are long. Sometimes you just need to be like jolted awake or, you know, a good kind of like, what the fuck are we doing moment. And to have it come from your best player who's putting in the work and doing all of that and setting the example, it's like, what's anybody else going to say when Asia's doing it? Like, I think she meant it. Like, don't come to this gym tomorrow if you don't plan on showing up and giving it your all.
Who's so-and-so? You said when so-and-so sends a message.
Probably Kelly O'Hara.
Okay.
Yeah. Or honestly, she would not even bother to do a text message. She would just get right up in your face and just be like, hey, what are you doing? It's not good enough. And I'm like, you know what, Kelly? You're right. You are absolutely correct right now. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, Kelly was always good about that. You need those players that are going to just like, honestly, kind of like lose it a little bit in the locker room and like the screw, you know, sort of came out and then they just kind of like while out on the team and everybody's kind of like, okay, that was wild, but also like there's no lies detected. So you kind of need that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, clearly for Asia in Vegas, it worked. They went on to win their final 16 regular season games, then won an additional game in the playoffs. That's 17 in a row. Woof. That's crazy. But anyways.
Did you ever while out on anyone?
Oh, absolutely.
Were you that
I was
player?
like, when you were like, you know, sometimes the screw just falls out. I was like, that was my screw. And it would fall out a lot. Thank God Stewie and Jewel aren't here right now to tell you the stories.
They're both so chill though. They were just, I mean, Sue just famous for the shrug, but they were probably like, okay.
But you know who else was always good for that? If you had a teammate that didn't say a lot. Like I was yapping all the time. So when my screw fell out, people were like, yeah, okay, no, just another Tuesday. But when you have a teammate that doesn't talk, and this is how Lauren Jackson was, Lauren didn't say much. And then out of nowhere, mate, and she would just lay into you or lay into the team rather. And in that moment, you perked up. You paid attention a little bit more. So that always happened. Okay, Megan, we're moving on to what's happening off the court in topic 2 of this check-in. There's a lot going on. So for those that listen to the show, you know Megan coined the term scorched earth. You didn't make it up, but you coined it to describe what the Minnesota Lynx, what Cheryl Reeve, who's here today, and Nafisa Collier, we're going to do this season on the court. Well, that's continued off the court as well. Their season has ended. Everybody, I'm sure, saw, just a quick recap, Cheryl Reeve voiced her frustrations in the semis. Nafisa gave a 4-minute Nafisa gave a 4-minute statement calling out Kathy and league leadership in her press conference. Kathy did her press conference a couple days ago last week in which she denied-ish her comments, but then said a meeting had been set with Fee. Fee, 2 days later, then cancels said meeting. So that's where we are. That's where we are. So Megan, for Fee to do that so publicly, it feels deliberate. As a player who has had to call out your employer, what dominoes had to fall here for this to even take place?
Well, first of all, I didn't know how prophetic I was at the beginning of the season. I feel really validated for that. That they were just going to go balls to the wall all season, and they did. I didn't know it was going to be like this, but they certainly did all year. I think a lot of things have to come into play and fall into place. First of all, you have to like have the opportunity to do it at the right moment that's going to, you know, sort of like capture the zeitgeist, capture the news cycle, kind of break through. And this was the perfect moment. Obviously, coming out of that series, what happened at the end of, what was it, game 4, game 3 in Phoenix, Fee gets hurt, the referee, Cheryl gets suspended. FUs everybody on the way out of that stadium, which was just funny. I'm sorry. It was like Oprah, just like everybody got one.
I mean, in another world, I could probably sell the transcripts of all my WNBA group chats
Oh
in that
my
moment.
God.
Like it'd be like a proper book
Yeah.
I couldn't type fast enough.
Yeah. It was one of, I mean, just in a funny way, one of the best moments of the season. It was just wild. Obviously not Fee getting hurt and the frustrations,
course
but it
not.
was just an all-time crash out. And we saw it live and I was like wild. And honestly, Dejanay Currency with the towel doing fuck all. Just like, I got it. I got it, guys. Don't worry. Cheryl, you're good. Do whatever you want. Nobody can even see you. That was all time. That was funny. But back to Fee. I think, again, the sort of like timing has to be right. She obviously, it was perfect because this is her end of the year presser. She's addressing the media. And I think to just take that moment and not really wait for the questions, but, you know, she had her statement typed out and read it. I think it takes a lot of courage and like gumption, honestly. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. I've been in that position. Teammates have been in that position. You've been in that position.
Actually, talk about how hard that is. Talk about how hard
Yeah.
that is to have that courage.
I mean, it's like heart palps, guys. It's like you're sweating. You want to say it. You're going to say it. You feel very convicted. It's not like, ooh, is this the right thing? But it's like, ooh, there's a lot of smoke that's coming. But you also like feel really convicted about it. You feel like you're in a position you don't really want to do it. You don't want things to have to get to that point, you know, whether it's frustrations about the officiating, which they talked about, frustrations with the league leadership. Seems like they don't feel like they are being respected or being heard. You don't really want to have to do that, but like you care about it so much. And so whatever levers are available and whatever kind of advantage you feel like you have or opportunity you have, like you have to take it. And leadership obviously takes that kind of courage and that kind of bravery to get up there and say it. I think also, you know, I don't know what the conversations were behind the scenes amongst players. Obviously, Fee is the vice president of the exec WNBPA. So I don't know if she talked to people before, but clearly in the aftermath, she had the support of the players. So that was really in lockstep with the talking points that they have. And yeah, it's a tough moment. It's hard. It's nerve wracking. You want to say the right thing. She obviously is basically speaking, you know, for herself, but on behalf of the players of the WNBA at a time that's really crucial in the growth. This last couple of years has been incredible. And, you know, they obviously have their CBA coming up. So it's a really pivotal moment. And I think to not let that slip is really important.
All right, so you've obviously been in a very similar fight. Does this remind you of the legal battle you were in with U.S. Soccer? Quick reminder there, U.S. Soccer said that you guys were physically inferior. LOL. And that was why you weren't being paid as much. You know, in this case, Fee has alleged that Kathy Engelbert said that the players should be grateful. So are there similarities here? And really, how do you balance calling out leadership publicly with their words when their words undermine the product versus staying silent to keep negotiations moving forward?
I mean, we always used media as it was a huge leverage point for us. And I think it's a huge leverage point for players in general. Like nobody wants to hear from the owners, really. I mean, it's just like a sort of an unfair advantage that the players have to be able, like people want to hear the players talk about anything, whatever. They want to hear the press conference. They want to see them on social media. They want to know what they have to say. The similarities that I'm seeing that I feel obviously it's a different situation, but I'm seeing like own goals. Obviously, what you know, ultimately what Carlos said in the legal filing that you're referring to, which is like you didn't need to put that in there to even argue like what you were saying. Like that's just such a self-own and is coming from a disrespectful place. I feel like. And I think what is happening now, or what I see happening, is kind of a ball drop on the league and on Kathy's, responsibility to have a good relationship with the players. Clearly, something has devolved. Even in Kathy's comments and Nafisa's comments, there's discrepancies. So either there was a mishearing or a misunderstanding or a miscommunication, or somebody is saying something that didn't happen, or somebody's saying somebody else is lying. And I think there's just like a level of respect and trust and like relationship dynamic that you really need to have. It's going to be contentious. Negotiation is hard. You both like ultimately want the same thing, but you're on opposite sides, and both sides are trying to get the absolute most that they possibly can and feel like they're doing the best for the constituency that they're representing. And I feel like there's a breakdown of like trust and respect here. The players don't feel heard. And it's not just the salary piece and the money piece. That can be put to the side. They're obviously underpaid as it is right now, right? But they're under the CBA that they all agreed to. It's getting done. It's going to get done. The CBA's up this year. Nobody's saying that the salaries are going to stay the same or anywhere near the same. But on issues like officiating or just general conversations, it seems like they're having with Kathy and with league leadership, there seems to be a devolving of just like trust and players feeling like they're disrespected there. So I think that's kind of the main thing. Like ultimately you have to sit across from the table. You got to give a little, they got to give a little bit. Like in a negotiation, if it doesn't hurt a little bit, you're probably not at the right space. And I hope that they can regain that, because ultimately what's exciting is this is an incredible moment in women's sports, really, but in the W, unprecedented. And they have an opportunity to have yet another groundbreaking CBA and continue this meteoric rise.
Yeah, we're definitely going to circle back on trust. I wanted to share like a quick story of a moment where I felt this, where it was like, I knew it was happening behind closed doors, but then I would turn on, the TV and see what the league was saying and how it didn't add up. So when I played in the WNBA for a large portion of my career, I was a max player. It was when the max was only like 100, 110K. And negotiating the CBA was for that number to increase every year by a certain percentage. Let's call it 2%. I'm making it up. Inflation rates were like higher than that. So you could actually make the argument that I lost money playing in the WNBA. And I presented this. As part of the union to the league to, showcase what the players were sacrificing in a sense. And then I remember that same year, it was 2019 as we were heading into 2020 for that negotiation, where the league was on TV talking about how, well, we lose millions of dollars and actually player compensation is more than that, because they were taking into account benefits and these things. And it just felt in that moment like, wait, what? Because how are you going to say this one experience isn't what it actually is, but then publicly, how are you going to validate that this experience is what it is, but then publicly say something else? So that is really frustrating, and it doesn't really lead to a lot of trust. So let's just go to trust. Is trust really the issue here? How do the league and players build it back?
Well, I mean, I think Kathy needs to have a little bit more humility. And like, I think ultimately, like, it's her responsibility and the players, of course, to show up in good faith and have conversations. And it feels like that's not happening. Obviously, there's no way to vet what Nafisa said or what happened in those private conversations. And Kathy's, sort of denied some of it and denied saying what she said about Caitlyn. But then that just like puts Fee in a position where she's like, okay, are you lying about? Like, it's just like, even just those discrepancies, like clearly there's a breakdown in that. So I don't know if it's like a come to Jesus kind of moment or a clear the air moment that maybe after the season, obviously tensions were running high as well. It's the end of the season. And it's been in the media a lot. Like ultimately they're going to have to get to the literally the table and sit across from each other and try to work this out. But in the meantime, it is sort of awkward. It's getting played out in the court of public opinion, which I don't think is going well for the league. And I think that there's some, rupture and repair. Do we need to get them in couples therapy or something? We need to get Orna on the case. There's some repair that needs to happen between the players. Yeah, I'm like, there's a few people watch couples therapy out there. Yeah, yeah. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Orna. There's some repair that needs to happen in order to get to a place where they can really negotiate it. Because honestly, it's like a lockout is bad for everybody. I know that it's sort of out there in the zeitgeist, and I feel like I learned that in our negotiations. It was like hammered in from our, PR people and our lawyers and everybody. Like, that is a worst possible scenario. We want to get to a place where we can agree and, again, continue to ride the growth of this league.
Yeah. One last thing. So we're going to bring out Tasha Cloud very, very soon, shortly. I just want to add, it's, a lot of people, I think when Fee did her press conference, I saw some things on social media about people being like, wow, I didn't realize it was that bad, or surprised to hear some of these things. And that really is why players have been and are so incentivized to air things publicly and in these ways. Because when you are behind closed doors, and I don't know if anyone saw this, but today or yesterday, Nafisa had a conversation with Kamala Harris where she explains, I was fed up. I was fed up of sitting in rooms, hearing the complaining and not seeing any change. And it's why you see us. Am I in the us now? Okay. It's why you see players wearing t-shirts that they wear. It's why you see them talking publicly. They've been incentivized. It's the only way to change things. And then at the same time, I do believe WNBA owners want players paid. I think the league wants everyone to get paid. They all want it to grow. And that's why I agree with you. It's ultimately about trust. Yes, there's things to get into the weeds on and conversations to have, but can you really have a negotiation? Like, can you really compromise? Because compromise, requires concession, right? Requires to see other sides. It's really hard to do that when you don't have trust. Like, when we get in our bickers, I don't see your side if I'm in a place where I don't trust you. But when I'm like, oh, I love her
When
and
does
trust
that
her,
happen?
all the time. All the time.
I'm
all
like,
the time.
hold on.
But it is necessary. It is necessary.
And I think just one last point. I think the players really want and need to see like this belief behind them and like, big belief energy in investing in them at the same rate that they're investing in the rest of the league. Obviously, they see the valuations going up. They see multi-$100 million, practice facilities or tens of millions of dollar practice facilities going up. They see their own bank account with off-court money. Like, they want to see that reflected in their salaries. And so it's just a matter of coming to a place where we can continue to reinvest and grow the business from the ownership and from the league side. But also, like, these players have put in a lot of work over a lot of years and invested a lot themselves, whether that's sweat equity or time or, their blood, sweat, and tears. And they want to see that reflected.
Imagine sweat equity had a number on it. Oh, man. Wait, this whole room would be loaded.
I'd have a chopper on the pad back here.
All right, everybody, the time has come to bring out our very special guest. She's a 2019 WNBA champion. She won the 2025 Skills Challenge and her All-Star debut earlier this year. New York Liberty point guard, Tasha Cloud.
Let's go!
How'd I get to sit next to May? Hold on.
That's the gay couch over there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gay.
Gay couch. Is it the bisexual couch over there or something?
Is what?
30 years
Like
ago.
a 80-20.
I think I got put over here because you cut her shirt.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
you-
Yeah,
you
this is
mommy
poppy
crop-
crop.
Oh,
over
yeah.
there.
Poppy crop the shirt.
She got the
Yeah.
poppy crop idea from you. Unbelievable.
I literally did. I was like, that is looking very cute. I know exactly where I want to crop this shirt off at. Thank you, Tosh.
Not your shirt.
You're welcome. The breeze is mighty fine.
Tosh, man, thank you so much for joining us. You just said it. Beautiful day in New York City. You are now you're kind of like a New York City kid. I know you're Philly till you die, but you're kind of the New York City kid.
I feel like a real New Yorker lately. Like the last
Yeah.
2 weeks here, been going, doing my local grocery shopping, going and finding butcher shops, coffee shops, all the things I'm doing. I'm loving it.
I
I
love
was
it.
out
So
on the street yesterday trying to find a butcher, and it was cash only. And I was like, okay, I can't
Yeah.
this time, but I'm coming back.
Listen,
Love
I
that.
definitely learned that the hard way because I don't even carry my wallet anymore.
Exactly. To get you a money clip.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So first year in New York City. Talk about just like being in this city. Talk about what you've been doing in the off season so far. We know you've been staying here. Like, what's it been like for you here?
Yeah, I mean, New York has been a true blessing to my career, to my family's career. The off season was a lot of unknowns for me, and to land somewhere that is as top tier as New York and the elite level and expectation, that is what, like, for me as a player, I was thriving for again and salivating for. I wanted to be somewhere where there was structure and intentionality and all the things that I needed to really just play basketball, and I found that here in New York. Obviously, the season didn't go the way that we intended or wanted it to, but that's a part of the game. But it makes you hungry for the next season to come back better and 1% better in a lot of ways. So for now, we've really just been enjoying New York. Brooklyn is where we stay. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? And so yeah, just we played every 2 days this season, which I don't think a lot of people they're like think that we're exaggerating when we say that, but it was literally every 2 days. So we didn't get to experience New York the way that we had wished to. So now that time is being spent with going and trying all of our little TikTok spots of food and coffee and restaurants. But being able to do events like this, obviously, was able to do Nike and Skims, which just opportunities that I've never had in my career off the court that I'm very thankful for this market for.
Got that Apple tattoo.
Yeah.
Okay, did y'all see the big
Did
apple
y'all see her
tattoo?
apple tattoo?
It's still healing up. And I know everyone loved it, but I am here to say every part of my journey is incorporated somehow into my sleeve. But New York is absolutely got before Phoenix.
I love that it's a core.
Oh, the core.
It's like a chewed up apple, if you will. So all you see is the core. I love that.
I
I feel
love
like that's like telling.
And can't you like replant the core and have it grow again? So I think it's a cool thing for the
Love
city of New York too, the resiliency.
Well, I mean, selfishly, we can't have one of our top tier personalities in a market like not New York. You know what I'm saying? For a moment there in the off season, I was like, Lord, don't do it. Do not. We deserve better than to have you somewhere dull. You know what I'm saying? It was just
It is so no.
not naming names, but it would have been a tragedy.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
for me.
I mean, I was like, we better get this fucking moving. What's going on here?
I would have been in the clouds for real.
Yeah, yeah, for real. Yeah, we would have lost you. Obviously, a little bit of a disappointing end to the season. I think considering all the injuries and ups and downs and everything that you guys had, it was still a great season. You personally had a great season. How do you look back on this first year in New York as a whole?
I am really proud of what you just said, our resiliency. I think that we were thrown a lot of adversity along the way. But one of my favorite quotes is by Chadwick Boseman, and the adversity along the way is intended to shape you for your purpose. I think even in a lot of ways, like collectively we were challenged. Individually, I was really challenged as a leader in a lot of ways that I wish I would have been better with my emotions of the ups and downs of the season. And that's just me being real about the accountability of me as a point guard and trying to continue to grow with this fire and water that I'm balancing. But overall, the thing that I'm most proud about our team is that through all the shit, we still enjoy being around each other every single day. And like the closeness that you see on social media and the fun times, that is really how we feel about our locker room. And so when you enjoy coming to work every day, it makes the adversity a little less. Obviously, I would love to be here. I feel like I have found my home in New York, somewhere that fits me both on the court as a dog and off the court in my activism as a dog, and somewhere where I'm supported. And that is like the safest feeling as it's hard. It's hard to talk about things that are happening in real life. It's hard to be vulnerable and get into stuff, but I feel like a real safeness here in New York. So I thank y'all for that too, for welcoming me and understanding that there's a lot of good trouble that we still need to get into. And I feel like New York is the best place for me to do that.
I agree. I mean, I'm just going to jump into it. Speaking of good trouble, speaking of vulnerability, let's talk about Fee's comments, Fee's statement. She critiqued league leadership, specifically as it comes to the refereeing and the physicality.
Yeah.
Like, what's your take on that?
Whew. As someone that had 7 technicals last season and had to miss a game for suspension, I feel her because the same can be said. There's a lot of things that I think we can just improve. Refereeing has been a big one that us as players have been talking about for years, and you can even go and talk about when you played and how the trajectory of the roughness and the controlling of games. And it's unfortunate that a caliber player like Fee couldn't even play and finish in a finals game for what I did feel like could have been a game that was controlled a little bit more earlier. Necessarily, but hey, I feel like we're all human beings, so extend grace to an extent. But for us, I fully support Fee in her statements, and I think that you're seeing the support from across the board. I think this is very similar to like the NWSL when y'all were fighting for like equal pay. Is that we have the support of our fans, we have the support, at least in New York, of our ownership and of our GM to push for what we deserve, and this comes down to the W is not what it is if it's not for the players, if it's not for the OGs that came before us that we're standing on the shoulders of, and that the next generation of women will come in and do the same thing. But we have proven time and time again that this product is a product that is booming. Business is booming. We would not continue to add teams to a league if it wasn't booming. And I think like just being honest and truthful is what we need, the transparency, the truthfulness between the two. Y'all don't even know all the teams that are being brought into for 200 and what is it, 250 mil? We don't even see a dime of it. Players do not see a dime of any of that money. So it's not enough to only give us revenue share from the league standpoint. We're asking for revenue share from the team standpoint too. Understanding with, I think they're asking us 8 years on this CBA. In 2 years, that whatever little chunk of money that you're trying to dangle in front of our faces, don't insult our intelligence. We know in 2 years that is going to double in price. And so we're just here for our value and for our worth. And I think Izzy said it best on a podcast that she just did. But there's only so much professionalism and formality and protection of a league that you could have when they're not protecting you the same and being reciprocated. So if we're going to say that this is about all of us progressing women in sport forward, and especially in this realm of like women in basketball forward, Kathy is missing her opportunity to be the biggest girls girl of our time and our era by just investing in women and giving us what we deserve and really changing the conversation and narrative surrounding our league.
Um,
Period.
yeah, yeah. You're here.
Did I clock it?
You talked about your activism a lot. Obviously, you're always willing to use your voice. The W has been like the national leader, basically, in all of this, always setting such a great example. I'm curious what you've seen. I think this was your 10th year in the league, or going into your 10th or 11th year. Over time, as the platform has grown, how do you see that impacting your activism and just players using that platform as it's growing? Has it changed? Do you feel like is it getting harder for players to do that? Or is it only able to be leveraged more?
Thank you for your question and putting in that way. I like that verbiage. Um, Activism is, I feel like it should be a human decency thing across the board. We had a conversation with Michelle Obama during the Wubble, and one of the things that she said and stayed with me through this is that you don't have to be an athlete or celebrity to have impact on your community and your environments around you. It can start in your home, it can start in your workspace, it can start in your group chats by not allowing anything that is less than the standard of human decency and dignity for everybody across the board. And so that's kind of how I just really approach my activism, is by trying to be a human being. I'm not perfect. I'm a very flawed human being, but I like to think that everything that I do is out of the genuineness in my heart and just really leaning on like that. For me, my faith more than anything too, as a Christian. Jesus was the most radical being. He fought for the oppressed, the poor, the needy, the sick, the helpless. And this is not for me to put my faith onto anyone, because I respect everybody's ability to be in whatever religion, non-religion, whatever it is. I respect it. But as far as my home, this is what I will continue to preach and teach. And I do think that it's gotten a lot harder. The more eyes that get on us, the more money that comes into our league, I think If I'm being honest, I mean, my pockets are always affected by my activism. I lose sponsorships, endorsements all the time. I take food out of my family's mouths, but I have this like innate feeling that God will always provide for us, and His favor is all over my life. So I know that to be true. Um, but for a long time, I was like, activism isn't for everyone, and that still is the truth. And my form of activism isn't for everyone. You know, I'm very like blunt, and I think it's my Philly roots, and I think that's why New York kind of messes with me too. Is like, I don't feel like we have to, for lack of better word, like pussyfoot around the let's just get from point A to point B, and then we can come to a solution base where everyone feels like they're winning, and everyone feels seen and feels heard and feels respected. And I just wish that during this time we would have a little bit more voices from our league, because there was a point where we saved democracy in 2020, and no one wants to give us that. But you were one of the heads of leading that and doing it in a very not loud and harsh way, but a very subtle and graceful way, in which really just galvanized and impacted the sports world to do the same, and it put pressure on people. So every part of activism is important. I just don't want us to lose that as the W, because we always have been on the forefront. And I would say like the last 2 to 3 years, I've seen us kind of fall back for protection of obviously our families and how we provide for our families. But I think we're at a really trying time in our world right now where we need love and we need people to step up and stand on business for humanity. And I always like to say there's not a lot of times that people have microphones in their faces, cameras in their faces, and the opportunity to really have this platform. So I feel like I would be doing a disservice to my community and to every part of the intersectionality of me by not utilizing and being a voice for the voiceless.
Man.
And I want to reiterate,
That's
I'm
right.
not perfect, but I really do love y'all. Everybody in this place right now at this pier. I don't have to know you to love you. I don't have to care about where you come from to love you. Every shade that is in this place, every sexual orientation, man, you're beautiful the way that you are. Continue to be authentic to yourself. Don't let anyone ever shy you away from that, and stand in community. Stand up for one another. If you see something that's wrong, don't shy away from standing up for someone that needs help. I think it's the most like simple, human, basic, should be a necessity of everyday life for us. Sorry.
Love it.
I mean, well said. This is going to make this next question hard. Can we go back to basketball?
Absolutely. We're done with
Just kidding.
the boohoo and the Pisces, all my love and empath. Let's get to the basketball.
No, I'm totally kidding. That was perfectly said, actually, not just well said. Thank you, Tosh. But free agency is upon us.
Yeah.
Obviously, so much TBA,
Hunger Games.
expansion, literally.
It's wild.
It's going to be wild. Let's
Two
just say,
people are on contract, I think.
yeah,
next year.
maybe.
The
a couple rookies here and there. Let's just say it was magically done right now. When you go into free agency, you've already mentioned or alluded to where you want to be, but what are your priorities heading into this free agency?
I think my priorities for this free agency is really just being somewhere that I can be myself, can still max out my potential, because I still feel like I have a lot left to give to this game. To have everything that I need around me. Like, we're at the point where there are certain expectations that I have, and I've been blessed to be on organizations that have all pretty much met those expectations of DC, Phoenix, and now New York, each in their own realms. But practice facility, needed. Chefs, need it. And that's not on like, no, oh, she's bougie. Like, I love not having to think about where my next meal is going to come from, especially when I'm expecting my body to be at peak performance.
Eating is part of our job.
We're both jumping in.
Man,
Eating is a part of our jobs. I know it sounds crazy. I get in this argument with my friends all the time too. I'm like, so is napping.
yeah,
Napping, I
literally.
know. I'm punching the clock.
No, I start getting antsy after shoot around if we don't leave on time, because I'm like, I have carved out a approximate time for my nap right now.
The amount
So
of
I feel
time
you.
we spent in our career looking for fucking food, of like, you're on the app or before the
ridiculous.
apps, it's just like, am I going to this place? Am I going to this place? I'm in a city. And then by the end, you like have it all dialed. And now you guys have chefs. So this is great. I love that.
Great
We
point.
love it. Support staff, training staff, everything that we need from a performance wise, travel, where we stay, how we're treated as like human beings first before we are players. And I will say in New York, I've had everything that I've needed to be able to perform. And so, yeah, that's the first kind of things that go into my mind when free agency. But also, like, this is the latter part of my career. I believe that I could go for another however many years, God willing. Like I feel really great. I feel like I'll still dust people up and down the court if I wanted to. I feel like I still have a lot to give, but we're at the latter part of my career. So that is about, thinking long term wise for my family. And I just want to be where I can provide for them the best and do so both on and off the court.
You're just at the second part of your career, not
Yeah.
the end.
I
Just
feel like
the
I'm in
second
the lip part. Like I
Yeah.
finally have a hold on my body.
We had 2 long parts, and you're right there. Yeah.
I feel like fine wine, and y'all got litter as you got older. Yeah, period.
That's exactly it. This year, which is really cool, it's rare that this happens. We got to play with Izzy on the same team. We obviously
Tizzy
never
time.
played on the same team together. I am certain I would have been a pain in your ass for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
But we would need you, so I could recognize
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
The team wouldn't need you.
would definitely need me to be like, she's fucking driving.
I would
me
have been
nuts.
Kelly O'Hara in your ass all the time.
Exactly.
I love her bad too.
Sometimes it leads to bickers. We obviously have a segment on our show called Bicker of the Week. Y'all and Izzy, do you two have like bickers that keep coming up? Just like little things that is just like,
She hates that I leave the lights on in the apartment.
Bro,
I leave the lights
She-
on.
I can't stand when Megan leaves the lights on.
I
You
can't
know what it is?
stand
I
it.
think
I'm
Izzy
walking out
needs
of
to
the
be on
room.
your side.
Oh
you
my
know?
Where is
Supposed to
Izzy?
see the lights on when my back is turned.
This is the cute
Yeah.
couch. Izzy should be sitting right here next to me talking about you two leaving the
Absolutely.
lights on.
I'm like, well, I'm gonna go back in there in like 2 minutes. So like, let me just.
Or tomorrow.
Or tomorrow, either
Well,
one.
honestly, Megan, if you would change the light bulb that you're leaving on all the time, I wouldn't have a problem. But then
Not
I
my
have
job.
to change it too.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
my job, that's your job.
She definitely hates that I leave my
tell her.
clothes. She makes fun of me. Like somehow every night I take my socks off like this, and like my socks just lay on the floor like I'm still standing in them low key. There is nothing that like pisses her off more than the socks, so I purposely do it now too.
Love
Do you have any of those things that you like
Oh,
purposely
my
would do
God.
just
100%.
yeah.
100%.
We
I'm
love
like,
y'all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I love you. I mean, I'm gonna be doing it this
I'm gonna
way.
be doing it.
I'm gonna be doing it this way. I know it actually makes more sense to do it your way most of the time.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
Still gonna
Just
do
an
it.
acknowledgement.
But it was definitely an adjustment. This is our first time playing, and if we're being honest, I think we've both said it. Like we didn't want to play together. I think we've heard like sometimes horror stories in like locker rooms of when you have had, and we just didn't want to be a part of that. And then the call comes, and I'm like, hey, I know you just signed with New York, but like I think I might be coming too. So like you got space. For me. But it was the best blessing to our life, to our family, to be in the same space, and now we're in a space where it's like, man, I can't even think of back when we were apart for so long and barely seeing each other, and the amount of money that we spent on flights to be able to fly to one another, the amount of times I almost had a heart attack because I was almost late to practice, coming in from a flight, it was a big piece and a big calm to our family, and just intentional with where I think God intended us to be too.
I love that. All right, so this off season, you're going back to Unrivaled. Big
Yes.
announcement the other day.
Okay.
Big announcement the other day. We're going to be seeing Unrivaled in Philly.
Philly is Unrivaled.
As we know, we're going to be seeing on the WNBA in Philly in 2030. Since you're going to be playing for like 100 more years,
They keep asking. I was like, maybe front office by then, but I got y'all.
it's not that far. It's not that far.
It's not that far. Okay.
Just how excited are you for that potential? They haven't announced the teams, which ones are playing, for the potential to maybe play in Philly again.
Yeah, I know. I definitely put a lot of pressure on Alex and all of them. At the announcement the other day, I was like, yeah, I can't wait to be here, everybody. Side-eyeing them. But no, I'm just really excited for the opportunity. They had told us last year at Unrivaled that they were thinking of doing the traveling and going into markets that haven't necessarily had W teams or a professional presence there from women in a while. And that opportunity in itself is really cool. I think that there's so many fans out here of women's basketball, and we're continuing to get investment to be seen more and to be more accessible And this is one of the ways that we're more accessible to our fan bases that stretch all over this country. And we want to be able to continue to bring this elite level of play to everybody, but especially with a Philly team coming in for the W soon. I think it just gets everybody excited of what is to come. And what better place to start than Philly? I know I'm a little biased, y'all. I know I'm a little biased, but it's a beautiful thing for a city. Y'all know what it's like to have a women's team. I think that we bring a lot of healing. We bring a lot of love. We bring a lot of swagger and just like badassness. And I'm excited for Philly to get to experience it.
That's dope. All right. We do like to play bench start cut on this game. But before we go, which is harder or which was harder, guarding Alyssa Thomas in that flat pick and roll or performing with Renee Rapp?
Oh,
Which one were you most nervous for?
honestly, the closer that I got to the stage with Renee, I was like, I better not miss my mark. You know, I better not miss my mark. But man, we couldn't figure out how to guard AT's ass for 6 games in that middle ball screen. That shit pissed me off. I was infuriated. But man, AT is having another amazing season. I hope that y'all are tuning in to a game 3. I think it's going to be an amazing series still. But yeah, Renee Rapp, I've been waiting for this moment. And it was like all the Liberty Bibbity were there, but also like all the gays in New York were there. So I was thriving. I was living my best life. I've never felt so seen. I want to do like fairy like leaps and shit, you know?
You guys killed it. It was funny because when you presented her with her jersey, she had one with, Rap on the back. And then she pulled out one. It said, I didn't have the volume on. And it said bird. And I was like, wait, what?
You were like, hold on.
What's going on?
I just get drafted
I
again?
got a Liberty Bibbity jersey.
Yeah, she got a thing for you.
Ooh,
all
guess who
right.
won for the court row or court side?
Never. All right.
Y'all saw what I did there. I tried. Okay, she a storm for her life.
All right. So here we go. Bench start cut. We love to play this with our guests. You
I
know the
hate this
rules.
game.
I know you're gonna hate this one. Sorry. Just an FYI, I'm just throwing this in there so you know. When we had Stewie on, she cut you. She did not choose you
It doesn't
to
surprise me.
babysit her kids.
Listen, it doesn't surprise me, but you know what? Guess who the kids run to when they come to
That's
the locker
right.
room? Okay,
We know.
Teo and Ruby.
Yeah,
And
you're
we bought
fun poppy,
Ruby, like
too.
a cute little purse with makeup and stuff in it.
Exactly.
Teo, we be talking about airplanes and the race cars. It's crazy.
That's a gay ants.
I'm a great auntie. They're just gonna come back like really hyped on candy.
Okay, this first one's you know what, I'm just gonna say it. We're gonna bench start cut WNBA couples.
Oh.
Tough.
Start Tizzy. Start us.
Nope, you're not in this one.
Damn. Okay.
Stewie and Marta,
Oh God, Stewie and Martha. Okay.
Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner,
I hate this game.
Dejanay Carrington, Melissa Smith. Tough.
This is set up. Stewie and Martha. You know what, Stewie? I got something for your ass.
That's right.
I'm gonna go with DB and AT at the front then, okay? Because I got cut. And I'm gonna tell you why, because they've been together for a minute, they engaged and all that stuff, they got the kids, all that. All right. Stewie getting cut, because I got cut. So it's only right.
That's right.
Love it.
Only right. Martha, I love you, girl. You would start if it wasn't for Stewie. And then we're gonna bench Dejanay and Alyssa because you know what? I love y'all bad. Y'all be doing your thing. Y'all be
They
doing your
give us
thing.
a lot of good fodder.
They give us a lot of, that's what I
They
was
give
like.
us the drama.
They give us the tea, and I love it. Y'all keep us entertained. Y'all keep us It's like our own reality TV show, but there's a lot of love there, so we're not gonna digress from that.
Okay, I have one too. Normally Sue does these, but I have one. I felt like it was a really good one, but you'll tell me, and so
That was
will the
tough.
crowd. Okay, just moments on the court. First, you lock up a shooter and it causes a shot clock violation. Second, an and one in a critical moment,
Okay,
and you make the free throw.
we like that.
Third, having the coach call the timeout when you're asking them to challenge.
What's my favorite?
Yeah, bench start cut those.
Then
three.
start cut. Okay. The first one was
Cause a 24-second shot.
Cause
clock
a 24-second shot.
You locked
clock
someone up.
violation. Like you
I-
blocked up the shooter.
okay. I feel like sometimes that's an expectation if we're just like in our defensive scheme. So I'm gonna go with cut for that. Like,
Okay. Wow.
all right.
That would never be my expectation for myself. I'd be like, oh my God.
Gotcha.
I'm like, no, let's get this stop. Let's get this stop. Okay, I'll go with the N1 for bench. And man, when I start wagging this finger, you better call that one timeout, okay? There is nothing I love more than winning a challenge.
Oh,
Okay.
you guys terrorize
It's
the
like the
coaches.
biggest dickhead thing too afterwards, because you're like,
Got it.
I would be a
I
menace.
thought y'all had
Players are menaces with it puts the coach in just the worst position because they're just like,
terrible.
I either gonna like debo my player or like I don't even know if I should do this, and they're like,
And then the ref got to go to their little microphone, be like, boop.
I'm
The
like,
call's
always
been
you gotta
overturned.
Look at it. Review it. But it also is like you're linked back to the ref too. If you feel like they made the wrong call, I'll be like, man, review that shit. Review it.
Megan was very excited for that bench star cut. And Tosh,
I was.
we were so excited to have you.
Thank
Give it
y'all
up
so
for Tosh.
much.
That's-
Thank y'all.
Thank you so much for joining. Y'all, that's it for the show. Thank you to Tech Futures. Thank you to you again, Tosh. See you next week. Listen, usually we have a little time for a touch more. The only thing we have a time for this time is more Tech Futures. Enjoy the rest of your week.
let's go.
Cue the music.